guys, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Big Fish Lad, and today we're going to talk about my experience and my opinion of the Oscar Cichlid. So before we get into that, I just want to say I have just reached 430 subscribers. I'm really happy with that, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, guys, and you do watch my videos, do me a favour, guys, and just click the subscribe button. It's dead easy, and actually, if you don't want to carry on subscribing, you can unclick it by just pressing it. If you like it that much, click the bell so you get the notifications of when the videos come out. It is free of charge. And also, guys, I'd love to get to 500, and the reason I do this YouTube stuff is because I enjoy it. I love it. I love sharing my hobby with other people. I have an Instagram channel and I have a YouTube channel. I'm not in it for money. I'm in it for enjoyment. So do you know what? I don't want to get millions and millions of subscribers, but I would like to get more. So just because I want my videos to get up the algorithm, and that's me being open and honest, guys. I've always said I'll be open and honest with you. Anyway, enough of that. So today we're going to talk about my experience about the Oscar Cichlid. So I'm just going to pan you over to my Oscar Cichlid now. Okay, so as you can see, I've got one red Oscar in that tank, and his name is Bubba. He's about 10 inches, and he is an absolute wet pet. He is full of personality, but aren't all Oscars full of personality? You know, I read a lot that the Oscar is aggressive and you can't have tank mates and it kills tank mates. Now, 30 years ago, my first fish that I kept was an Oscar Cichlid, and I've never gone a year in those 30 years without having an Oscar Cichlid. And I've never had them problems. Don't get me wrong, I've had a couple of wild Oscars that have been a little bit brutal, but my captive bred Oscars, I never have a problem with. I have kept them with so many tank mates. So as you can see, in this tank, there's a couple of Waru, there's a chocolate cichlid, there's a Severin, there's a Midas, there's some cutterized cichlids, there's even two small gold jags. And he just keeps himself to himself. If anything, those Waru pick on him. Those Waru are the most aggressive fish in this tank, and they are awful. But if you read up on them, it says that they're peaceful. So one bit of advice I would give anybody when it comes to keeping any fish is speak to people who have kept them. I'm not really a Google guy for when it comes to fish keeping. I will contact someone who has kept these fish. Now, I just bought two gold jags. As you know, I do keep Central American fish, but I've never really studied the gold jag or kept them. So I reached out to Andy Woods, and he educated me on them. It didn't take 5 minutes. He educated me on them, and now I know more about them, and I know enough now to obviously to buy them and keep them. So anyway, that's the jag cichlids. That's another video. But when it comes to Oscar Cichlids, guys, they are, I think personally, and this is, like I say, is only my opinion, I think people say that they're aggressive because they're boisterous. Now, if I go to feed this tank, the Oscar is there first, and he throws himself about. He's 10 inches, and you know, they grow to 13, 14 inches. They're boisterous, they throw themselves about. I suppose the best way to put it is they're like puppies. They're just like a puppy, but they're very, what's the word? Intrusive. They're very intrusive, and I think that sometimes makes people think they're aggressive. I've never really had a problem, and like I said, that's my opinion. You may come in the comments and tell me that you've had Oscars that kill other fish. You come and tell me that, guys. I get it, and that's your experience. But my experience is, I've never had an Oscar that does that, except for like one wild one that I had. But the captive bred Oscars, I've always found just boisterous, wet pets, and I've had a fair few. Like I said, they can get up to 13, 14 inches. I have had them at that size, so tank size is important, you know, and I think the minimum tank size for an Oscar for me would be a 350 litre tank, and that's the absolute minimum. If you're keeping a pair, I would say 125 gallons. This is 125 gallons, which is 450 litres UK, and as you can see, he's got plenty of room. He is only 10 inches, so he's still probably another 4 inches in him, so you can imagine from a size guide there just how big they grow. One thing for me that's really important about getting the most out of your Oscar and is filtration, because they eat and they poop and they poop, so they are messy, and you know, filtration is important. This tank comes with a built-in internal filter, which is pretty big, but I've added another APS filter on the other side, and I've added some nitrate resin. So what that does is that reduces the nitrates in the tank, which I know some people might not agree with that, but I've had it for a while and it does work. It's come from a trusted source, and a lot of people in the UK use it because it's a cracking thing, and my nitrates never go over 5 with it, so that gives better water, really clear water. The only problem I have with my water is I've got an algae problem. It's seriously bad, my algae problem. I've actually scraped and cleaned the algae today, and you can see there's still quite a bit of it on the back. It's just not, it's just terrible. But algae's good for the water anyway, so that's not causing any problems. I think with this tank, guys, as well, is, you know, there is a lot of wood in there because I've been experimenting on aquascaping, which I'm pretty chuffed with what I've come up with. But, you know, if I move a piece of that wood, there's a whole load more room. So yeah, I think, you know, just touching on the tank mates, other American cichlids are fine with them. I think you're going to have more of a problem with the other American cichlids as opposed to a problem with your Oscar Cichlid, in my opinion. Okay, so food wise, they'll eat anything. Honestly, they'll eat anything. My guy eats Sakari, Cichlid Gold, Norfin. He'll even eat spirulina pellets. They'll eat anything. They'll eat anything because they're gluttons, and they'll carry on eating. They'll eat and eat and eat. So they're very greedy. They'll load themselves up with food in the mouth. But if you've got smaller fish in the tank, that's not a bad thing because little bits of food will come out of the gills and they'll pick it up. What else is there about the Oscar Cichlid in my time? I mean, there's different types. I've had the red tigers, coppers, I mean, copper Oscars. I've had albino Oscars, I've had lemon Oscars, Latino Oscars, these loads. I've had the wild Oscars. These are an array of types you can have. And I think, in my opinion, I think the red Oscar's the nicest. Not because I've got one, but that's why I got one, because I think that the nicest, in my opinion, is the red Oscar. I've always found the red Oscar to be the most aggressive, or to be the most boisterous out of all different types. What else is there, guys? What else is there? I think I've covered it. I think, you know, I don't want to do an Oscar care guide as such because there's thousands on YouTube, and, you know, my video is not going to compete with that. I just wanted to come on and share my opinion. Like I said before, I reach out to other people who've had experience. You know, someone can do a care guide on an Oscar or any fish, and they've never really kept it that long, and they just basically took the information from Google. So, you know, I believe massively in experience, and I reach out to experienced fish keepers for my advice. And, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different story to tell, a different experience and a different opinion. But that's my opinion on the Oscar Cichlid. Mine is the red Oscar, and it's Bubba, and he is fantastic. Absolute brilliant wet pet. If you want a wet pet, just get an Oscar Cichlid. And the other thing, guys, I think with the Oscar Cichlid is they're actually not that hard to keep. You give them a big, decent-sized tank with decent filtration, and keep on top of your water changes, keep your sand and gravel clean, and you've got an happy fish, and you've got a fish that you're going to enjoy as well. So anyway, guys, that's me, and that's my Oscar Cichlid, and see you on the next video.